There we go. Now we are definitely live. Um, got it. Okay. There's all kinds of things flashing at me. Luckily, I don't think there's hopefully anyone here yet. Okay. Hello, hello. Oh, good. Okay. Sorry, for a second I thought I had a count down, but I have a count up. I was like, oh no. All right. So, hello, everyone. I know there's a few people here, but the protocol sort of is to wait a minute or so and give people some time to come into the room. So for those of you who are here, guessing you already know who I am, but I'm just going to introduce myself anyway. My name's Aly Pierce. I'm a poet person living in the Boston area, and I have two books. Oh, this is what I want to figure out the comment thing too. Oh, awesome. Okay, so great. The moderators are putting some my bio and stuff in the chat, and I'm also going to put my book links in the chat. Um, so I have two books out, which you can actually buy together because my publishers are awesome and work together. Ooh, actually, can I not comment? Did All right, I can't tell whether I think I put them in the chat. I can't tell whether they came up or not. Um, but regardless, they're both from two local, really awesome small presses that you should definitely support. All of the stuff that they put out is super good. So this is The Visible Planets from Game Over Books, and they're fantastic. They have an awesome upcoming season of books coming out. Really check them out. Drinking a Sainthood is another one that just came out recently that is absolutely amazing. And then this is my other book, which is co-written by me and Cassandra de Alba, who is incredible, and it's called Cryptids. And this is from Gingerbug Press, who is a micro press from this area as well, and they do all kinds of tiny, funky stuff and are really fun. Okay, so we have a few other people in here now, so I'm going to get started. There is a Q&A at the end of this, so if while I'm reading you have a question that pops into your mind about any of the poems specifically or anything at all, put it in the chat and I'll scroll through. I understand that some of the comments take a little while to come through, so yeah, if I don't see it or something, that's why I think it's delayed. But so yeah, so we'll do a little Q&A at the end, and if you have any questions, pop them in the chat as I'm reading, or yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read from The Visible Planets to begin. Yeah, thank you all for being here, and for Poets in Pajamas for having me and organizing this. This is really awesome, and I was really honored to be able to read with the lineup and as a part of this organization. Okay. Hubble captures the ghost of Cassiopeia. Here the queen is seen with her hair piled high, frosty blue wisps pinned together, her robes pooling on the sky floor, swirled around the seat of her throne. Her cheeks hold a blush of laughter, her skin pricked with rose gold jewels. She looks flawless underneath Polaris, her shroud loose about her shoulders like she hurries nowhere, dresses for no one. We wonder where in this picture is the ghost. Most would tell us it's the light spread of frosting, the iridescent river nearest the edge that mimics a body. But what if the ghost is the biggest dark spot between her pale arms? The absent center, the whole image bends around. Or what about the disparate brightest points, the spots that bleed the camera's pupil into X's? Anyone who's held a death knows how infinite it becomes. Light years of hydrogen sparks in a dark sky. That's usually the one that I read to open everything. It's named for a picture. A lot of the poems in this book are named for pictures from that were taken by the Hubble Space Telescope, and the brilliant NASA engineers who title these photographs. And I just am. They always are like great prompts. So I encourage anyone who's wants a random writing prompt to go to nasa.gov and look up their most recent pictures from Hubble and see what they're titled. They're always really fun things. So I'll read one more of those, which is called Hubble Images Milky Way's Big Sister. The picture is up close, like up her nose, like we're still a baby in her eyes and don't know how to frame a shot, how to back off a little. Instead, we're treated to the truth of her. Skin tone, the strands of hair that make up her head, the crystalline wishes that stud her eyes, capillaries that ring them, what broke in her and why. Maybe Hubble is just examining the way she does her eyeshadow, how creamy and full of sparkles, how tender her hand as she paints it in place. Maybe this is how Hubble wants to remember her, this close, this age. I'm just going to check the chat just to make sure that we're all good. Okay, great. You guys can hear me. Everything's going good. Awesome. Another aspect of this book is there's a series of sonnets in it for planets and their moons that are cast the planets and their moons as contemporary lovers. So I'm going to read you one of them. Originally, I wanted them all to be like moments of joy, but then some of them got sad, but that's okay. This is Neptune and Triton. It's June when Triton bursts onto the stage of Neptune's tragedy. She's living in her parents' crumbling basement, and he knows the words to O Comely, can tune a guitar by ear. Nightly, Triton exits by the sliding glass door and treads the backyard after tucking Neptune in, naked and nodding out. One night, he winds his red Miata to the walking bridge in New Hope the day before the full moon. Every spider from the woods adorned the trusses, fat rumps like gray pearls dripping from strands of glitter in the face of a moon with a sickle missing. 2 blinks shy of tomorrow, Triton tried. 2 drops out of the bucket of Neptune's eyes. Oh, it's telling me my connection is unstable. Is everything okay? Sometimes... Okay, alright, okay. Sometimes it says that and there's not a problem. I hope there is just not a problem. Okay. Eclipsing binaries. By observing how 2 stars orbit each other, we can know the point that binds them. From light years away, we can look at their union and say, this is what makes them partners. Never mind that we can't know their names or the language in which they say, I love you. We can feel the way their light shifts and dodges as they dance, see their alternating rhythms as they wash dishes, get dogs, fix the fence in the front yard. We can't tell their faces apart at this distance, yet we know beyond a doubt which will die first. We know their collected mass, the length of their arms, the moment their first child is stillborn, the brightness of their morning, and the time at which it will end. Swollen, red, cold, and bigger than both of them. All right. So this is actually really exciting for me because I'm going to read, the last one I'm going to read from this book is a poem that I wrote from the point of view of the Hubble Space Telescope to the James Webb, which at that time had not been launched, and now it has been launched, and it went so successfully so far, knock on every piece of wood that is existing. So this is Hubble's letter to the James Webb, and this is the first time I'm reading it when the James Webb is in space, so this is a really cool moment in my brain. Okay, But so yes, it's the from the point of view of an older space telescope to the newest space telescope. At first, be a blunder. Be a disappointment. Fool them. Make them think you know different than a space rock filled with diamonds. Make them puzzle over you. Give them the gift of problem solving. Let them generate the feat of human engineering that fixes you. Then, tell them what they want to hear. In all its wispy, pinprick detail, let them be amazed, marvel at the least you can do. If they ask for the beginning, tell them it's possible, but they'll have to conjure it. Sit at your feet and pray long enough in the right numerical combinations, make them sweat, and then drop the cloak of darkness from the universe's shoulders. Reveal to them their secrets, that everyone has children, even if we don't know them, that everyone orbits, that shadows lurk under ice, that stars mock the shape of each of our faces, that even emptiness has a name and pulls us. When you are more than they have ever dreamt, keep clicking. Show them that you are just getting started. It will be like magic for them, better than God explaining. You can show them millions of years of proof of ghosts. You can display the almost impenetrable depths and what crawls there. You can whisper to them their only great hope, that they may not be alone, that one morning they will wake up to an image of a hand waving hello. All right. I'm just going to read one or two new ones because I love reading, I love reading, honestly, the most recent poem that I've written. Whenever I did this when I was a teenager, I would like go to readings and just read like literally whatever I'd written that afternoon. Like I'd have poems that I thought were like, the hits, and then I'd just read like something random. So I'm going to read you a poem, some stuff that I've written more recently. We'll try and get through two. Okay, so this is this is from a document that's called Poems About Songs I Like Too Much. And yeah. This isn't specifically about a song I like too much, but it just it's about music. It's called Punk Rock Sunrise, which is a phenomenon. I didn't think about this when I was deciding to read this poem. Okay, this is a thing, and I wish I had a picture of it to show you all. Okay, regardless, Punk Rock Sunrise. The proverbial mountaintop that you have to hike to see the punk rock sunrise is 10 rows back in the crowd, so thick you can't lift your arms. But you're excited about this band, so you do anyway. Get on your tiptoes and bounce a little. Periscope your cell phone to take the shittiest picture of mostly the back of people's heads. Feel everyone start to shift around you with the feedback's first whine. It took me years and cities and cities and friends and cities and internet black holes of bands and bands and bands to find a place it felt I fit. When I take the picture, there's this perfect horizon of light breaking it in half from the photographer's flash. And it doesn't matter how shitty the rest of the picture is. To me, it's the punk rock sunrise, and it's all mine. If you take a picture at the moment that the photographer of the show is taking a picture, you'll end up with this picture where there's like half light and half dark. So that's what it refers to. Okay, and then this will be the last one I read. I'm still writing poems for space stuff, even though I published my space book. I can't be stopped. So I'm writing a bunch of poems for constellations. So, but they have a totally different vibe. So hopefully that's evident here. So this is the most recent one I've written and the most recent poem I've written, and it'll be the last one that I read. It's called Eridanus, which is the river, the constellation in winter for the river. Eridanus. As kids, we'd catch frogs, or try to, down by the small stream by my house. I never had much luck. but I believed in my friend who'd said he'd done it, who proposed it like something attainable. We'd take our bucket and our bare hands down to the creek, the wide part where there was a shallow bank and one side where the earth fell away from the hill, and we'd wait, standing in the shallow water. What is any life but a river, a path of souls? The myth is begging me to make this about death, and I'm refusing. What about the river of lives I've walked, the river of friends, of loves? Instead of the chariot careening and scorched earth following, how about flowers, places we were happy? The river of light, Eridanus, the path of people we've loved and lost, but not in an absolute way. Like loved and moved on from. The one frog I ever had in my hands, and how I let it go. Okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just saw my mom in the comments being like, Punk Rock Sunrise, my new fave. I'm so glad you like it. That means so much to me. All right, so I'm going to take some questions now. So I see one already in the chat. Thank you, Shannon. That's so great. And send them. I'll answer them as I see them. Yeah, thank you all for being here. So, okay, Shannon's question is the obvious question for a virtual reading. How has the pandemic and all its structures changed the way you work? Strictures change the way you work. Read and make sense of your place in the writing community. That is an awesome question, Shannon. So, I mean, for me, community is extremely important and always has been to my process. Like, when I was younger, I was really, really fortunate to have a community of writers around me, even as a young person. And I feel really lucky and like that I have some of the things that have made me a writer from that. And that's I've had that throughout my life too. So I like maybe too as a person who's like too involved in stuff and I need to slow down and calm down sometimes. I have like 3 writing groups that I am a part of, and I have been extremely lucky that basically all of them went virtual immediately when the pandemic happened. So I have one of like some of my best friends. There's the Salem Writers Group, which if anybody is local to this area, I highly recommend. It's free and it meets at the Athenaeum. I think they're still virtual right now. I haven't gone to that recently just because it's for all age groups and they suggested that we start a group for young people. Not because they were kicking us out or any reason, but they just were like, there's a bunch of young people who come here too, and maybe they, want feedback from each other and their own group, instead of. But anyway, so the Salem Writers Group is awesome, and then the offshoot of that group, which is called the Monday Group, which is still meeting virtually, Monday nights at 7. So I guess my long story short, the pandemic has definitely impacted my sense of community in that some people were laid off, some people had a lot of work going on, but everyone sort of like banded together and I met with a bunch of groups weekly at the very beginning of the pandemic. Like I think I met with 2 separate writing groups weekly, and then so yeah, I produced a lot of work, and then I got really burnt out, as I'm sure everyone did, just with the ongoing pandemic. And I work at a small business, and everything is just so I've been finding it more difficult recently. But yeah, let me see if there's so the way I work, I always just sort of try to go to those groups and have them force me to write. That's the best way. I love being a part of a writing community. It keeps me writing. So question from my grand. I love my grand. So happy to see you. How did your obsession with space start? This is an awesome question. My grandfather, my dad's dad, is an astronomy teacher, or was an astronomy teacher. And I used to go hang out with him sometimes in the planetarium where he taught at. And And when he would have a he had a telescope, and he would have us over for if there was any cool astrological stuff going on in the sky. And I'm not talking like all the time, like, but there were times where this was like really impactful to me, and I just thought it was super cool. And yeah, so I just remember looking at space stuff and thinking it was really awesome. And yeah, that's how the space thing got started. um, Question: what books are you reading right now? I just started actually a class that is the Pioneer Valley Writers Workshop. So I've just started reading some of my homework, which is Narrow Road to the Interior by Basho. So that's one book that I'm currently reading. I've also been trying to get through the Odyssey, which is not working super well. But because of all of the mythology that I'm sort of like winding around with these, I, the constellation poems, there's no way to like separate them from mythology, right? Constellations are like mythological. So I've been trying to like read some more mythology stuff, and I have like Edith Hamilton around here somewhere, and I want to pick that up. And I think I'll have more success with that than the Odyssey, because I've just been trying to read the Odyssey at like 9 o'clock at night and just not been able to get through much of it. And then also, this is my like go-to other is They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us by Hanifa Darabkib, who is amazing. All right. Oh, thank you for somebody put the poets in pajamas people put the links in the chat. So perfect. Yes, these are my books. Love for Hanif in the chat. Yeah, Hanif is unparalleled genius. Like, actually got that genius grant, and I have not seen a more deserving person. Sorry, I'm struggling with this chat function a little bit. I'm like scrolling through it, but then it seems to jump around. But that's totally okay. So I guess I can be patient. That's what I was instructed to from the chat would be slow. And that's a function. I'll say a little bit more. The most I've the most I've written recently was with my friends has a Discord server where we were all writing 3030s in it for I think November. I think we did it instead of National Novel Writing Month. But I don't even remember. I feel like everything since the holidays has been a huge blur. Oh my god, Rebecca's here. She says, is there a specific geographical location that inspires you the most? I mean, that's a great question, and I think that I am like very oriented to place. So I think the best way that I have to answer this question is like there are certain, like, I think about it in a film way. Like, there are certain areas where like if I see like a shot that is like the camera panning, it like gets my like gut going, and one of those is this specific when I first moved to like Northampton on my own, like as opposed to living at college, I was always driving back and forth between Northampton and Doylestown. And so when you're coming down 202 and getting off the exit of two, not even off the exit, when you're coming into Pennsylvania, there's this sign for Doylestown on the highway, and this like really long, slow curve of road, that's like the exit from the highway. And that's always one that like, I don't know, for whatever reason, like I feel like I've written like a lot of poems that are located like there. I love, I don't know, I just have like a strange like hometown like like that. I feel like if you repeated that like as a gif, um, for like, you guys seen the videos that play during songs? If you repeated that during like me reading anything, it would be accurate. Um, but also, I love Dane Street Beach too. I used to go and sit there and write a lot when I was in college. Hi, Wendy. Um, Question from Wendy. Do your poems just come to you, or is it a process where you have to sit and try to write? I very rarely have a poem just come to me. I am always like sitting down and like trying to write. Mostly I need like some kind of framework for to start thinking about something. So like that's why I have like a ton of poems that are like, you know, after like lists of things or like a catalog. Because I just go through the catalog and I'm like, all right, you're writing about this and this is your prompt for the day. But there are times where like, and certain of my favorite poems, honestly, will be like something that the thought occurred to me and I can't leave it alone. Like the poem that I wrote for the Greet Death song Bow, there was this like thing where I thought I heard some of their lyrics one way, and then the way that I thought I heard them, I was like obsessed with that idea, so then I had to write that poem. But that's like the minority by far. Um, Jake says, "Do you have any previews to share with the crowd? What are you working on?" I'm working on two. Well, I have like three projects at the moment that I'm like roughly working on. So I have like a longer narrative prose project that I'm working on. Um, that is a struggle because I've written poetry only for most of my adult life, so I have no idea how to work on something that isn't poetry. So that's been a challenge, but it's a way that, like, the writing itself is very comfortable for me. So it's just that then trying to like edit and figure out the creating the first draft is like fine. And then I'm like, after that I have zero idea what to do. So that's something that I'm working on. It's called, at the moment, it's the working title is called It's Not Me, It's You. Or it's not you, it's me, sorry. And it's about all of the things that I thought I was obsessed with for a long time and I wasn't. So that's one thing. And then I'm working on the series of constellation poems, which is very beginning stages. I think I only have like 9 or 10 of them, so very beginning stages of something. And then this other thing called Songs I Like Too Much, poems about songs I like too much, which hopefully will end up being, I have a lot of hope for that one, because it seems like no matter what I do, I'm not going to stop writing about music because I really like music. And as I'm like getting older, weird thing to say, but I'm feeling like I need to write about the way that I got into music and like what it did for me as a kid and then as an adult and all in that transitional time. I feel like it's just really it's important to me. So I've been starting to write poems that have been exploring that, and I'm enjoying them. So yeah. Um, Thanks, Mom. um, okay. 7:30 is the time that we were supposed to get to. So thank you everybody for watching and being a part of this and asking great questions. And to all the individual people I saw who showed up, you're like my favorite people. And Thank you to the Poets in Pajamas folks, Shannon. This was awesome. And I hope that we can do something together in the future. So I hope everyone has a good night. And yeah, thanks for coming.